Congressman Fortenberry. Good morning. What a gift of a beautiful day we have this important Memorial Day. Thank you first to my good friend John Miller for extending the invitation to me, and Jeff Johnson for your leadership, as well as all of American Legion Post 247, Color Guard, Honor Guard, and all the auxiliaries and you, the community, who have gathered here on this important occasion. Once upon a visit to the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, America, in Annapolis, Maryland, I noticed among its many qualities that this extraordinary campus, this bucolic campus, the architecture there reflects this harmony and orderliness, a real dignity, a call to something higher. And in one of the Academy's halls, a United States submarine commander named Howard W. Gilmore is honored. During World War II, Gilmore ordered his submarine to the surface of the ocean. All of the crew then came out onto the deck. An enemy plane that they did not know was in the area spotted the vessel and began a strafing run at the submarine. The crew on deck then scrambled to get back inside into dive mode. As one crew member looked back, though, there was Commander Gilmore on the surface, wounded by a hail of bullets. Gilmore looked at the sailor and said, "Take her down." The commander knew he would be left to drown, but he said, "Take her down." Stories like this appear repeatedly in our nation's history. They detail the brave actions of honorable men and women who served a far greater ideal than any superficial distinctions that might separate them, for the just and enduring principles of America, and that is a noble thing. On Memorial Day, we honor those who gave everything in service to our country. The sad reality of human history is that it's marked by fighting and dying in war. Yet there has always been a deep desire by those of us left behind to memorialize the fallen heroes of battle. The formal remembrance of our war dead mixes both feelings of pride and sorrow. That a person would lay down his life for his friends, for another, is the noblest of human ideals. That we would unite in gratitude to reflect on the sacrifices of those who have gone before us is one of our greatest human expressions. That we would gather to say thank you to those who have served is a reflection of our common bond, our narrative as a people. Now, we all know of the great battles and heroic sacrifices at places like Bunker Hill and Omaha Beach and Quezon and Fallujah. What we do not know are the untold stories, witnessed by no one, of Americans who fought to the death to preserve our country. One paratrooper, as I recall the story, he landed directly amongst German troops in World War II before D-Day. When the American forces finally reached his area, cleared that area, the scene that they found told the story. Around this soldier, laid in a circle, a number of dead German soldiers. It had been hand-to-hand combat. He fought and he fought. Even the butt of his rifle was broken. One man's last stand, alone, until the odds overwhelmed him. Frightened and fierce, he gave his last full measure. How many times has this been repeated? The unknown tale of the unknown soldier. In a visit to Anzio Cemetery south of Rome, our American cemetery there, I learned of a Catholic priest who left his assignment at Georgetown University to join the war effort. After World War II ended, he was on a transport craft when it began to have trouble. Then it came to a terrible realization. There were not enough parachutes for everyone on board. Father Martin O'Gara gave his parachute to another and went down with the plane. A building was named for him at Georgetown University, where I attended, but progress in time resulted in its being torn down. But on learning this story, I petitioned the university to establish a new memorial, which is now underway. Again, we must remember. We must retell the stories. We must continue to honor those who have given with uncommon valor. Closer to our own time, at the beginning of the war in Afghanistan, there was a pilot, and his handle was Johnny Bravo. And Johnny Bravo was flying one night high above the Afghan mountains. It was a beautiful night. The moon was full, the cloud cover so thick that it was as though he was flying above cotton. But then he heard a crackle come over his radio, and the words "contact" rang out, and he knew what that meant. The soldiers below him, the mission below him, was in trouble. The problem was, on this particular plane, it did not have advanced navigation equipment. There was no way he could reach them, surrounded by the jagged peaks in the valley in which they were in. Johnny Bravo then literally pulled out a map from the old Soviet Union era, and he determined precisely where he was on that map. And making a calculation based upon the distance that he had and the speed he was going, he knew how much time it would take, and he had to make a decision. And he plunged his aircraft straight downward through the thick cloud cover, the aircraft rocking violently as he did so. And when he punched out of the clouds, all of his training had never prepared him for what he saw. Literally hundreds of feet above the ground, fire was raining down from both sides of the steep cliff sides onto a singular spot, and he knew that's where our troops were trapped. Reacting quickly, he began to empty his own arsenal onto those enemy positions, while at the same time counting out loud 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, then pulling his aircraft straight back up before he himself slammed into the mountainside, punching back through the clouds, returning and then making the run again. Going through the clouds, punching out hundreds of feet below, right above the ground, emptying his weaponry on the enemy positions, all the while counting out loud 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, before he had to pull out before he himself would hit the mountainsides. And he made this run over and over again until he had no more weapons left. His wingman was flying up there above him, and he told his wingman, "Now you go." And the wingman said, "Sir, I don't think I can do it." He said, "Then follow me." And the two aircraft stayed literally feet apart as Johnny Bravo plunged the aircraft down, leading his wingman just hundreds of feet above the surface, as the wingman then began to empty his arsenal into the enemy positions. Johnny Bravo called out of the radio, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, pull! And they did it again and again and again until they were out of bullets. When Johnny Bravo got back to the base, his superiors told him, "There was nothing in your training, nor nothing compelling you by virtue of duty that demanded you do what you just did." He said, "Why did you do this?" Johnny Bravo had a simple answer. "They would have done it for me." Every man came back alive. In this age of anxiety and petty strife, it's worth reflecting on why we now find it so hard to say, "They would have done it for me." present-day Washington as a microcosm of the nation routinely exhibits a lack of political community. We lack a unifying spirit. Now, part of this problem is driven by moneyed interest in politics and a corporate media that strokes controversy and division to drive profits. Part of it is driven by competing worldviews, earnestly derived, about what it means to be an American. Part of it results from a lack of will among lawmakers, the courage to move forward, to move beyond these dispiriting constraints in search of a common ground. In the wake of World War I, poet-politician W.B. Yeats wrote this: "Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity." In this time of struggle and division, about the heart of the notion of our nation, of what it means to be America, perhaps, I offer this to you, perhaps there is a silver lining. On a deeper level, the vehement animosity across our country could point, ironically, to something good. Our inability to rally around big and meaningful ideas, reflecting long-standing cultural and philosophical divides, and the seemingly intractable hostility that you see repeated every day, it actually might signal a desire for resolution. After all, if no one cared, our situation would actually be worse. And there is plenty of evidence that we do care about what unites us, about the creative ideals, like we are doing today, about those who have served us, those who have given their all, those who help us imagine what America can truly be. Many of you have served. Some of you have fought. And you faced odds that were way above you. There was no way out. It was impossible. Yet, somehow you got it done. You continue to inspire us. You continue to help us imagine the possibilities of what can be and help us to get it done. So if we can stretch to see this current negativity as a search for solidarity, then I think we have a shot. Indeed, there may be a chance to recapture our democratic narrative, our special American identity, by embracing something larger than the insistent demands of self, political party, or narrowly focused advocacy groups. We are a country whose proper aim and purpose, whose very foundation is built upon that which is good and eternal: fairness, self-determination, and the rule of law. Perhaps this combustible moment is actually a yearning to reconnect. And what better time than now to decide on Memorial Day, when we remember what had to be given in order for us to be here, what they did for us, how our veterans served us, their willingness to serve for a greater ideal than the self, is the ennobling force that holds us together as a country. In spite of the political differences, social fractures, and economic struggles, we are still called to properly reflect about that which is noble, that which is good, and on those who are brave. Right before Commander Gilmore, right before he died, he looked at that crew member and he said, "Take her down." Commander Gilmore was here today with us. Maybe he'd looked at us and say, "America, let's lift her up." I hope on this very special day that you have taken precious time to come and reflect and to honor those who have given all and died. That you have a beautiful time with your family. May God bless us. May God bless America.